this gets into the false signal, right? Like you could have a tremendous amount of false signal in both directions of like this CRO is the attribution of like success to the company's growth is all because this guy or girl is a genius, but maybe the product market fit was just unquestionable and there was like no competition.
Exactly.
And so
They were in the right place and the right job at the right product, and it could be a false signal for
yeah.
sure.
And
Yes.
so like just equally as much as like you could have a great person who didn't have those attributes, the thing has muted growth, but like I'm a soccer fan. It's like you watch like Jose Mourinho talk about his time at Man United and he's like, that was the greatest accomplishment of my career. And he won second place and the guy had won Champions Leagues and leagues. And they were like, how could that be? He was speaking to the fact of like the parts that I was working with were extremely challenged. And this was my greatest managerial feat. There's like, I think that's a challenge that the CRO can also face where it's like the company going in looks amazing on paper. They've got all this notoriety, the right investor set. But until you can like understand what do they want out of this role? Do they want someone who's like a systems thinker? Because that's ultimately, I think, a key criteria to being a CRO.
Yeah, critical.
It's not just a pure salesperson. How do you think about like structure? How do you think about process? What's the role? How do you balance speed versus quality and like driving that growth, but doing it with an eye to the bottom line? Like those types of questions that I see them coming to me, like if they're caring about the totality of the system, then they're really understanding the role, I think, of what the CRO is, which is to work in concert with that executive team and figure out how you drive sustainable, profitable growth with low churn, increasing and improving the unit economics, all of the things you would expect. But a lot of the times, I think you see it all be about like, what is your experience running this sales playbook and like, what have been your numbers? What did you go from X to Y? Did you go from 50 to 100? How did you do that? Right. And it's those questions I think are superficial and reveal how they're thinking about what they're going to drive 100%. You on in the role, right? And then what happens at the board level, right? Which it becomes your fault and your problem.